What's up, Indonesia? My name's Taylor Zakhar Perez.
I'm Joey King.
And I'm Joel Courtney.
And my name is Maisie Richardson-Sellers
from the Kissing Booth 2.
You two do go everywhere together.
Yeah.
So I got to go in and audition for our amazing casting director, Gary Zuckerbrod, and it was actually funny. I thought I did terribly on my audition. I thought it was a absolute tank, no go, just it was awful, you know? And then like a week and a half later, I got a call and they were saying like, hey, they loved you, they want you back. I was like, you're kidding me, right? Because there's no way they liked that. It was terrible. But it just turns out that Gary has a professional poker face. And he totally got me. I thought it was terrible, and apparently it rocked.
For me personally, getting into the character of Elle Evans felt like second nature. I had already played her before, and coming back to a character that like changed my life so much, that I loved so much, it just felt like revisiting an old friend. So for the Kissing Booth, getting into Elle's character, like initially I was like coming straight off of the act, and I was like, wait, how do I do this again? But once I got into the groove of playing her every day, it was just like hanging out with a cool chick named Elle.
Oh yes, that's right. I did get to do all those stunts by myself, and I loved it. There's a section where I jump like 20 stairs. I had a couple stunt guys help me with that. The long jump all the way from the top to the bottom, I had a stunt double do that one. He was like a professional parkour runner. And so he was able to take the impact and then tuck and roll at the bottom, and he did a great job.
You killed that intercom sequence. It was so funny, Joel. It was like one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was so much fun to film. I love that kind of physical comedy. So yeah, that was one of my favorite things to film, I'd say, actually.
I had a wonderful stunt double named Nadine, and I am pretty adamant about doing my own stunts, but when it came to the motorcycle stuff, she did all of that, except for the stuff where I was being pulled by a truck when it was like a close-up shot of me. But oh, she's such a badass. She can do anything. To shoot the second movie, with all the rehearsal time and all the weather complications that we faced, it was about 4 months, which is a pretty long time for a movie shoot. Very
fortunately, we actually were filming before COVID-19 hit. I'm very thankful to say that our entire crew was safe and healthy, other than a couple of instances of food poisoning. We were able to finish and just get in and just be all done before anything bad happened with COVID.
Oh, that's tough. You know what I really loved? I'm trying to think, but one of my favorite days to shoot was field day. It was so fun. That was exhausting, but also just like a really, really good time.
I grew up doing musical theater, so I, for years, was at opera houses back where I'm from, near Chicago, and we just did like West Side Story and On the Town and Guys and Dolls and like all those classic shows. And so when I was auditioning, I sang, and we had, he just kept giving me the third degree of like, hey, kind of how dedicated are you going to be to this project? And I'm like, Vince, throw anything at me and I'm yours. And he's like, look, I'm going to support you entirely. And Michelle's like, we're going to support you. Do you think you can do this? And I said, yeah. I'm like, yeah, let's do this. I'm like, I might need a little extra time learning some choreography, or I might need a little extra time with like learning, I don't know, the lyrics or the stage performance of it all. But yeah, I would really play the guitar, and I was dedicated. I mean, even Maisie knows. She would call and she's like, hey, we're gonna go to Stellenbosch, or we're gonna go up to Port Elizabeth. We're gonna go have a nice weekend. I'm like, I have to stay home. I have to stay home. So I would have like one-on-ones with Vince. And like my guitar coach, and I would be singing and I'd be playing the guitar. It was very uncomfortable because it felt like it was like I was auditioning all over again. Like I felt like I was gonna lose the part if I messed up. So I was just very grateful for all the support that I got from Vince and Michelle, and also like my castmates who didn't rag on me for saying no, hanging out with them like the first month of us being there.
We actually have the same manager, coincidentally. So we'd met briefly at a fundraiser event, but it'd been like a sort of hi bye in the crossroads. So when we finally met, which was on set, we was at a rehearsal on set. We first met, and it was just, I just remember turning around and seeing you there with this gorgeous, radiant smile on your face. You were in this tank top, and you're all like greasy, and you know your muscles were popping, and you're like, "Hey," I was just like, "Hi," and that was that. We just became instantly like this, and that's how it's been ever since.
And I think the first time I met you, I don't know if this is right, but I feel like you had like a vibrant pink suit on at this fantastic event.
Yeah, it was like, I remember the jumpsuit, and I had my big fro out. It was
and very memorable, beautiful goddess. So, I mean, how can I forget Maisie?
Mine was less of a stretch. You know, I went to Oxford, she was going to Harvard. I love traveling, she's traveled all over the world. And I think what I mainly had to do was emphasize sort of emphasize and lean into the good side and take away any insecurities and all those sort of things. Because she really is just this confident, sort of free spirit who can just walk into any room and take over the conversation, but also make everyone feel heard. And she's very loving and kind. And so it was just really fun to just play a good person, a role model.